Comrade Kennedy Yere is my name, humanitarian activist and philanthropreneur. I'm the coordinator general of the Youth Economic Intervention and De-Radicalization Program.
Can you tell me why we are here today?
Yes, we have successfully registered close to 7 million young Nigerians into the scheme. The target is to mitigate unemployment, address youth poverty, and reduce, not reduce, eradicate or eliminate radicalization, tackle youth hopelessness and frustration. So we target 20 million youths to be taken out of unemployment and poverty before the next election. So far, we have approximately 7 million registered youths for the first batch of registration.
So how do you think this can really tackle the challenges we are facing in the country? We have numerous challenges like poverty, out of school children, hunger everywhere. How do you think this can actually get into the grassroots?
Poverty is the root cause of every other menace in quotes that you just listed. A man who is not poor, whether literate or non-literate, should have the exposure to know the relevance of education and send the child to a school, a good school, not just school. Youths are the life wire of every nation. Economic life wire, security life wire, stability life wire. But in a situation where they are detached from the system, what happens? When you want to talk about optimum labor, that has to do only with the young people. The strength of every human being wanes with age. You know what they call the law of diminishing return. That's what we suffer today in Nigeria. The older generation are still holding on to power, not just political power, but economic power as well. Big six, the real revolution we need. So when you hear a lot of people saying they want to come to the rescue, it's a fallacy. The youth force is the force that will liberate us. And apart from that, no other thing. So this is the solution we need. And it has come close to us.
Can you tell us briefly what really gave birth to this very program? And what is the role of the Ministry of Youth Development in all
The
this?
Ministry of Youth Development is the supervisory and coordinating ministry. This intervention is a collaboration between government and the civil society with the support of global donor partners. I saw the need to save Nigeria from the precipice. Nigeria is on the edge of a dangerous cliff with an army of unemployed youths numbering tens of millions. What do you expect? Are you surprised we are having insecurity? The answer is no. We can't fold our hands and watch. If we have something close to another NSAS that is well organized, Nigeria is history. And that is why we are saying the answer is not in radicalization, it's not in kidnapping, it's not in terrorism, it's not in protest. It's in the youth coming together to say we have a plan and holding government accountable because the government is meant to be committed to anything that can foster the social protection of the young people. That's where we are.
Let me take you by some of your speech inside. You made mention that you had a meeting with you wrote a letter to the president. Then after the response from the president that give birth to this
Yes, I
particular?
played a very
Is it not a kind of you are bribed to take some of the aggrieved youth that are protesting of hunger, insecurity, and some other thing in Nigeria out of the street in order to catch them with
there
this
there
kind of program
there is no
out of
bribe without gratification. I have not collected a dime since the inception of this program from any arm of government, from the federal ministry or from the president. So, do you have an AK-47 to burgle a house and you just enter the parlor and you started mopping without taking anything out of the house? Comrade Kennedy Yere is too big to be lobbied. The love for my nation, I told you during the safe the end back governance protest, I played a huge role, right? Because Nigeria must stay, Nigeria must survive. We have no other country to call our own country. But then, when I saw the validity of the protests, in the sense that issues that were raised to have been the reason for the protests were germane, I had to write to Mr. President. And he responded to me. And then after that, I had to sit with the minister and other top government functionaries to draft what now became the Youth Economic Intervention and De-Radicalization Program. That is it.
the
As a
fa-
humanitarian activist, activism now has to be more strategic. Activism, protest should be strategic. If you raise, I didn't support this government, but when I wrote, they responded, and we came to sit on the table, and I was asked, "What can you contribute?" And I said, "Okay, mobilization of these youth for something more positive than just leaving them to hit the street and protest. Every time there is a protest, the economy has some setbacks, hugely. So
so
that is it.
so
The
let,
love for my country being being compared by the love for humanity is the reason for this.
so let's take from some of the questions people ask inside. So if this money is actually paid to some of this bank, what is the assurance? What is the follow-up mechanisms that you think?
Banks do not take customers' money. Banks do not take donors' money meant for beneficiaries. It has never happened. The only bank that takes
And you
money
think
is
this money
CBN.
will go to the right source,
Why
not
not? Why
the son of some elite in the society will hijack this particular
you
program?
don't need to sleep with anybody, you don't need to bribe anybody, you don't need to know anybody. For the fact that you registered and we captured you in the portal and you have a bank account, you are a beneficiary. And every beneficiary must have something.
Tell us briefly the mechanism for the registration.
Very free. Just visit www.yeidep. Yeidep is YEIDEP.org. It opens. But we have stopped it now for the first batch that had registered up to 7 million people. I'm sure in 2 weeks' time, after structuring this nearly 7 million people into clusters and cooperatives, we start again. We are hitting 20 million before the end of the first quarter of 2026.
Finally, your message to Nigerian youth and the government entirely.
Nigerian youth, this is the real revolution. Any other group that want to come to the rescue is not a force. You are the force. Go register and become part of the YEIDEP movement, the real revolution that will redefine everything called Nigeria. Politics, business, social inclusion, economic inclusion. You have the power as that force to decide who becomes your president, who becomes your governor, who becomes your senator, who becomes your House of Rep member, who becomes your House of Assembly member. Don't let them use you. You are the real force. If there is any force ever coming, it is you, your force, the youth, your force. Join this movement and let us make this country sane again. red card the unproductive ones, and then install the responsible ones. That's the way to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.